So for this question, you're kind of in a pickle here because for the power rule to work, what you need is you need x to a number in the numerator. And right now you have this cube root of x and you have an x in the denominator. So the first thing we're going to have to do is rewrite the cube root. So this is just a rewritten problem. What I'm going to have is I'm going to have x to the first power because that's the understood exponent. And then the only thing I change is I get rid of this little radical and this 3, and that is going to become my denominator. So I still have the x to the 1, and then I divide by 3 in the exponent. So that radical becomes the denominator of 3. All right, so that is now in the position where I have x to a number in the numerator, so I can use the power rule. Now, the second term is also not in the position of the power rule quite yet because we have an x to the first in the denominator. So what I would have to do is I would have to bring up this x to the first, and the way to bring that up, of course, would be to change the exponent to a -1. Okay, now that is just the rewritten problem. That is not the answer. So after we rewrite it, so we're ready to use the power rule, we can then take the derivative. And this whole d over dx parentheses, that's just saying take the derivative of what follows. So here I'm going to take my derivative. Using the power rule, I bring down the 1/3. I have x, and then I take 1/3 minus 1. So again, when you do this, you're kind of going off to the side here. The -1 is going to become 3 over 3. So you're actually going to get -2 over 3 as the new power. All right, now the second term, you're going to do the power rule, so you're going to bring the -1 times the -9 to give us +9. And then x, okay, now again, be careful here because sometimes you're a little quick on the arithmetic. It's -1 minus 1, so that's going to give you -2 as your new exponent. Now, if you wrote that on your test, I would be perfectly happy with that. There is nothing wrong with that. You can, if you want to, get rid of the negative exponents and so on, but it's not necessary. So this would be your final answer. The other way of writing this, just for the record, would be 1/3 x to the 2/3 plus another term 9 over x squared. And if you're thinking about this, you could also write this as 1 over 3 and then x to the squared, cube root of that, plus 9 over x squared. So any of those formulations are perfectly fine, but this one that's in the box is fine for my math lab, and it's also fine for your test.